Welcome to Vocal View Internet Radio. Voices on the move. I am your host, Jackie Gaston. Vocal View Internet Radio was developed out of the desire to generate an environment for passionate, civil, and unscripted conversation regarding the epidemic on families and children. There are news shows and newspapers and plenty of places to go if you're looking for opinion. But if you want to hear and take part in conversations that are focused on the impact that systems have on families, we at Vocal View want to hear from you. Welcome. Hope you stay for a while, commenting and calling, questioning, writing, and listening. And who knows, we may be a part of bringing about social change.
Tune in to Vocal View Internet Radio at www.vocalviewradio.com.
Vocal View Radio is supported by There's Room Incorporated, where families that are struggling with anger management, discipline, neglect, and stability can get the help that they need. For information on levels, scheduling, and rates, please call There's Room Incorporated at 803-708-4712. There's Room Incorporated.
What will it take? What will it take for children to not be afraid in their homes when pain and destruction and death is seen through the hands of many people, such as parents, adoptive parents, grandparents, foster parents, teachers, preachers, and the child welfare system? The very people who are supposed to protect them. Where are they? Where are their voices? Why is there not an uprising on the epidemic on children? This April marks the 27th anniversary of National Child Abuse Prevention Month. We will focus on the children this month, but we are in war to fight for our kids. We must hear their voice. We must see their faces. We cannot remain blind to the plight of children in this nation. We claim to be the best and the brightest in the world, but yet we are leaving a poor and horrendous legacy for our young and our powerless. The shining beacon of morality, fairness, equality, and justice is missing. It's obsolete. It's not there. When will we wake up? Look around. What can you do to help?
Tune in to Vocal View Internet Radio at www.vocalviewradio.com.
Every family can use assistance when it comes to raising our children and taking care of our everyday households. If you're finding it a struggle and need further assistance, we can help you with strategic parenting classes. Please call 803-708-4712 for further information.
Thank you for joining us. This is Jackie Gaston with Vocal View Internet Radio. We will talk about some general statistics today on child abuse and neglect. All our sources will be posted on the webpage. Did you know that the United States has one of the worst records among industrialized nations regarding losing average between 4 and 7 children every day to child abuse and neglect? A report of child abuse is made every 10 seconds. It is estimated that between 50 to 60% of child fatalities due to maltreatment are not recorded as such on death certificates. So if a child died of maltreatment, and we are keeping such data, there are instances, 60% at the highest, where it's never recorded on their death certificate. Approximately 70% of children that die from abuse are under the age of 4 years old. More than 90% of juvenile sexual abuse victims know their perpetrators in some way. They're familiar people to them. Some of it is never reported. Did you know that child abuse occurs at every socio-economic level, across ethnic and cultural lines, within all religions, and at all levels of education? What a wide gamut of abuse. Did you know about 30% of abused and neglected children will later abuse their own children, continuing the horrible cycle of abuse? It's generational. If my mama did it, if my daddy did it, if my grandmama did it, then I might do it too. That means I have the propensity in me to do the same thing that was done to me, and no one rescued me. What are we doing? In at least one study, about 80% of 21-year-olds that were abused as children met criteria for at least one psychological disorder. And we wonder why the mental health system is overburdened. Why do we have so many people cannot live through life without prescribed medication? And we wonder why, in this epidemic, we haven't paid attention that a part of our mental illness could have been childhood abuse. When they talk about money, in 2008, did you know the estimated annual cost of child abuse and neglect in the United States was $124 billion? Isn't that a high enough cost to pay attention? Is there not something we as taxpayers can do about that number? And where is the money going? The money that's supposed to help families and children, how are the dollars really spent? Is it fattening the pockets of the people who say they do things in the best interest of children? Or are our children really getting the help they need? These statistics are alarming, but they go on. There are many more, and these are the ones that we are recording and documenting.
Tune in to Vocal View Internet Radio at www.vocalviewradio.com.
April is the month that honors the prevention of child abuse and neglect. Create a great memory for a child and let them know you care about them.
Thank you for returning. Child abuse is related to criminal behavior as well as serious consequences. Did you know that 14% of all men in prison and 36% of women in prison in the United States were abused as children? That is twice the frequency than the general population. Children who experience child abuse and neglect are about 9 times more likely to become involved in criminal activity. And they're angry. They know no boundaries because boundaries was not set on them. Children who experience child abuse and neglect are 59% more likely to be arrested as a juvenile, 28% more likely to be arrested as an adult, and 30% more likely to commit violent crime. Is that enough to wake up taxpayers? Where is the money going? If federal dollars was there to help our children out of abuse, then the future would be looking better instead of darker. Some of the consequences of childhood abuse by parents or significant others who children should trust are: abused children are 25% more likely to experience teen pregnancy. Abused teens are less likely to practice safe sex, putting them at a greater risk of STDs, HIV, AIDS. 1/3 to 2/3 of child maltreatment cases involve substance use to some degree. Children whose parents abuse alcohol and other drugs are 3 times more likely to be abused and more than 4 times more likely to be neglected than children from non-abusing families. As many as 2/3 of the people in treatment for drug abuse reported being abused or neglected as children. More than 1/3 of adolescents with a report of abuse and neglect will have a substance use disorder before their 18th birthday, 3 times as likely as those without a report of abuse or neglect. And our children in school, they cannot pay attention when they've been abused. All scientific studies say when the child is in a survival mode, they cannot focus on academics. We have all the data, we have all the information, but we're not moving toward any resolution. New programs come in the community, and they leave the community, and no changes happen. We brag a lot about outcome measures and evidence-based materials. Then why are the numbers climbing? When are we going to pay attention to the facts? When are we going to really follow the money trail?
Tune in to Vocal View Internet Radio at www.vocalviewradio.com.
Today, we're focusing on the statistics before we get into our objective, our goals, our debate, and our discussions. Because we're looking for solutions. We're just not picking a bone dry. We want something done. And the only way that it will get done is to raise the awareness and the consciousness of people who really care about our children. The Children's Bureau put out a list of statistics, and you will be able to find that on Statistic Brain under Child Abuse Statistics on the website. I will place it as a link. The number of children who are abused according to this site a year is 681,000. 53.6% of those perpetrators are female. Could include mothers, grandmothers, aunts, but women who have children abuse them. The percent of homeless youth that run away to escape abuse is 46%. Now let's see where the numbers fall in the type of child abuse. Neglect, 78.5% cases. Physical abuse, 17.6. Sexual abuse, 9.1. And I guarantee you, some of it is not reported. Psychological maltreatment, 9%. I believe that number is higher too. My opinion only. Medical neglect, 2.2. And the unknown, 10.6%. When we look at these demographics, we have to take in consideration everything. Everything. Culture, the religion, everything that's involved, because nobody seems to know what is happening. As we dig deeper and look into what's happening to our children, and why aren't we trying to make this place, the United States, the world, your home, your community, a safe place for children?
April is the month that honors the prevention of child abuse and neglect. Create a great memory for a child and let them know you care about them. We are ringing 7 bells to honor and pay tribute to missing and deceased children. They completed a life cycle that left us all empty. As we go about our day, please take the time to remember that they were here for a special place and a special time. The meaning of their young lives ending may never be realized, but they were here. Let us honor them. Please comment or share your thoughts about the children that transitioned so early. Thank you for joining us for our first show. We invite you to come back to our next show regarding what's in the best interest of children. For Vocal View Radio, stay safe and see you next time.